welcome back to another video on Nikola this time. So Nikola, obviously another electric car company, and we have some massive news which in my opinion actually does change everything for the company. So I think that you really should watch this one all the way through till the end, because some of this you might know, but we're also going to be looking at some alternate views, and also even if the rumours are true, what is going to happen for the company, and if they're not, what will happen then from where we are now. So first things first, just before we jump into anything whatsoever, please do subscribe to the channel. Honestly, massive support from you guys over the last few days. We're on 61 subscribers now. Can you get us to 100? Can you get us to 1,000? I would be appreciating it so much if you were able to do that. But yeah, let's just go straight onto the Nikola stock. So when we go here, we can look at the 1 day, and today Nikola's stock is even down quite a large percentage. Bear in mind this is Saturday today, and Nikola has still plummeted even from then, so it's been quite stable from around 12 p.m. all the way until now, so that's obviously a decent sign. But with it being a weekend, you know, what would you expect? But going out to the 5 day would give us a better picture. So we can see here a huge gain for the stock. It was up from $35 all the way up to an absolute high of around $50, almost $51, and from that high price point it just plummeted all the way down. So this becomes a little bit more extensive when we go out to a longer time period, because when you combine this basic downturn over such a short period of time, it indicates terrible things for the company. Now obviously a lot of companies have been dropping recently, but Nikola has actually got its own reasons. So with a lot of other companies there are no fundamental reasons for this, but with Nikola we actually have some interesting news which has dropped the price. So let's just have a quick look at the price action itself. So clearly a lot of sell-off and a huge price decline all the way from 50 to around 32, and some people are saying that this stock could go even lower, maybe to about 20, maybe even to lower than $10 a share, and obviously this is not a good sign. So a lot of people are actually shorting the stock right now, and the reason for this is this little news article from the Financial Times here. Nikola shares basically fall because short sellers claim that the business is a scam and a fraud. So this is because the electric truck company has apparently exaggerated its technology and faked their product videos. So we can imagine what this means for the company. It's obviously a terrible PR sign, and it indicates to it potentially even being a scam, because as we can imagine, if the product isn't there and a lot of people have been investing, that is not a good sign, because we're a few years in and we still haven't really seen much from Nikola. Apparently they have a factory which is already starting to be built, kind of, but it's really not looking too good with all of this news, and obviously a lot of people are therefore short selling on the stock. So a lot of people short selling the stock, shorting it, and basically what this means is when you bet on the stock going down, for example, in case of a few viewers didn't know that, but basically that means that if you think that the stock is going to go down, you would short it, and that means that when the price goes down, you take money from that. But we can imagine what this means. It's not a good sign. People are basically saying that they think Nikola will go down even further, and this is due to it potentially being a scam, because the product has apparently been over-exaggerated a few times. Obviously, if you want to go and read this article, you can do that. I would recommend it, but I'm just trying to make this video short as I can and tell you everything that you basically really need to know. So yeah, this has been claimed to be a scam, Nikola company. However, let's look at the alternate version. So even if it is a scam, what's going to happen? We'll get to that in a second, but first let's look at the General Motors and what this could potentially mean for the good side and potentially a good thing. So General Motors have obviously invested in Nikola. If you didn't already know, I think it was a 10% stake. I could be wrong on that. Obviously, if you want to Google that one yourself, you can. But this is, well, General Motors attempt at jumping into an electric car company, to be honest. So as we can imagine, Tesla has been jumping all over the place recently, especially in more recent years when we look out on the longer picture, and it just makes sense for a company like General Motors to have a stake in a lot of electric car companies, and they have been investing in quite a few electric car companies, and this is obviously a good sign. But it's not necessarily a great sign that the company is not a scam, even though it's got the backing of General Motors, because things could always still go wrong. General Motors is just trying to have their hands in a few different electric car companies, so that if electric cars pop in the future, which they probably will, then they will have their share of that as well. So yeah, I think one of the ideas was that they could build the Nikola cars in the General Motors plant, which I personally don't think will work, because let's think of that, if they don't even have their own plant for their cars, it's not really a good sign. I mean, it could work in theory with the backing of General Motors and all the things that they have in their assets and infrastructure basically. However, it's just not a good sign for such a company which is independent. or at least supposed to be independent, and just because General Motors jumped in, it's not necessarily saying that the company will be produced at General Motors, but if it is, that could help them out a lot because it would help them to get their product out there a lot faster, so potentially some good news for Nikola after all. However, is this a scam? I'm not 100% sure. You guys just tell me in the comment section what you think, but let's just look at what might happen in the future. So I can personally see Nikola potentially going down. A lot of people have been dumping shares, a lot of hedge funds and things like that have been dumping shares, and obviously this is bound to send the price down. And on Monday, we could potentially see the price go even further as hope for the company falls. How low do I personally think it will go? Maybe a little bit lower, 20, maybe even 10, like some analysts say. It just depends on a few market conditions. Obviously, it looks like we are coming up to a stock market crash anyway, and this will just compound it and make the stock drop even further. So we'll just have to see what happens around next week and how this one goes. But yeah, if you did enjoy the video, guys, please do leave a like. Please, please, please do subscribe. It would be appreciated so much if you did. And check out any of the other videos on screen. We've got hundreds of videos on the channel, so I hope you enjoy all of them. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.